Hi, welcome to the Collective's Introduction to Cubase tutorial. Now we are going to be looking at Cubase, developed by Steinberg. Cubase is a DAW or DAW piece of software. That means a digital audio workstation. It was developed by Steinberg, the company, in 1989, and it ran first of all on an Atari ST, which was at the point where I was running Cubase myself, and I think I picked it up in the early 90s. So let's open up Cubase and see what we've got. Right, so first of all, what do we see? We don't see an awful lot. We see a bar at the bottom, and this bar at the bottom is akin to what you'd see on Logic, what you'd see in Reason, and it is basically just the control surface with a record, a play, a stop, various types of rewind and fast forward, a loop button which we'll go over later, BPM time control. So we can see our BPMs. We've talked about BPMs, beats per minute, in other tutorials, but they are how we set up the time that our tune will run in. We've got various other things that we won't go into in this tutorial, but all the components on this bar are fairly critical for just running your track and getting stuff to play, record, and setting your times. So let's open our first Cubase tutorial, new project, and first of all we see templates, and these are set up as some already presets for the type of music we're going to be making. I also use Reason in conjunction with Cubase, so I've made some of my own Reason templates which I've saved. And you can make up your own templates and save them as a template, but for this tutorial we'll just use an empty template to start with and we'll set it up. So OK that. Now Cubase is asking us where we want to save our project to. This is quite important for processes of finding, or for letting Cubase find your work that you've made, or for you to find your work that you've made. So ideally you want to create a Cubase folder in your hard drive somewhere, and date it so that you know kind of when about you made your track. So I have my Cubase folder. I save all of my projects into this one folder. I've got the 2012 at the moment, and as the years progress I will change and make a new folder. You could also make internal folders by clicking on New Folder and save the individual project as you go, especially if you've kind of got an idea of what the song's called to start with. Make a new folder, call the song the name, or give it just a working project title, and then choose that folder. So we've created our folder, and now Cubase is fully open. So what do we see? We see a timeline that runs from left to right, and we see a couple of empty boxes here, and if we push play on our transition box we can see there's a little bar moving across the project here. We can zoom in, and again this is a lot like Reason, which I've shown you in an earlier tutorial, where you can drag it out and see it a little bit more closely, and you can widen it as well with the up and down slider. So we can see that something is moving across the screen, indicating where we are in the song that we haven't actually yet made. So again, like all the other tutorials, we need to set up how our computer is going to talk to the speakers, the amplifier, the way the sound is getting out. So we need to set up our sound card from inside our computer to play our music back to us. So in Cubase we have various information across the top bar here, and we need to go to devices. There is an awful lot of information in Cubase. It's a very, very in-depth piece of technology, so We're going to be skipping over quite a lot of stuff in this introduction too. This is just to get you up and running. We won't be making a very good song. It will just be a little practice project just to get you going, just to see how you can get going. So we need to set up device. So device setup. Click on that. Our box will open and we need to look at the audio system, and we need to look at VST audio system, and we need to look at this bar here, and if we click on it we get a drop down, a bit like in Reason again and also in Logic. So it's looking for the available sound cards that's available to it. So I've got my built-in audio which is on my laptop. It would work perfectly fine and it would send the sound out through the headphone jack, which you can plug your headphones into or plug that into an amp into speakers. So there is your audio out from your inbuilt computer. I'm using an external sound card, so it's already got a tick, but I'll select it and I know that my audio is now set up and I can keep that and I can OK it. So my audio is set up, so I know that if I open something in this, I can now add that sound will come out of my speakers. So in the next tutorial we'll get some sound out of the speakers.